Reporting for the InterMountain Christian News, I'm Dr. Matthew Anthony Harper here in the James Brady Press Room of the White House. A top story regarding President Donald Trump's meeting with Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Mar-a-Lago, Florida. A JNS report says that President Trump said that Israel would not exist if Israel had a bad prime minister. And in the report, it's referring to Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as a good prime minister. President Trump is making it very clear that Israel would not exist if it wasn't for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And of course, our evangelical Christian community, as well as our Orthodox Jewish community, would say that Israel would not exist if it wasn't for the God of Israel helping Israel and in using President Donald Trump in all these regards and blessing Israel. Also in that JNS report was that President Trump has been nominated to receive an Israel Prize. Now, this is a prize of peace. President Trump's 20-point peace plan is in jeopardy because Hamas has not and will not surrender. That is a condition of that plan, but no sign when Hamas will ever agree to surrendering. Another top story is President Trump following through with this promise, like he said previously, to bring all guns a-blazing into Nigeria to protect our Christian brothers and sisters. So President Trump has done that. Now nations like Nigeria and others will take note that President Trump means what he says. This is an exciting development that I and all of our evangelical Christian friends, as well as many Orthodox Jews, we are so thankful for President Trump defending Christians in Nigeria and call upon him to defend Christians in India and so many other countries that are documented on the Voice of the Martyrs website, which is persecution.com. So important to learn about the history of Christian martyrdom at Voice of the Martyrs website. Once again, persecution.com. And a key question to ask President Trump regarding this is, will he be conditioning U.S. support to countries if they do not stop the killing of Christians or even Orthodox Jews, that the U.S. will not support those countries? Now, a big development for the U.S. is for President Trump listing Nigeria on the countries of particular concern. And when a country is on that list, it impacts their ability to do business with the U.S. So Nigeria is on notice, and all countries are on notice that President Trump means what he says. Another crucial question to be asking President Trump is if he's aware that the UN is misusing U.S. tax dollars going into UN agencies, and specifically the education programs of the UN that are inciting kids to violence against the Jews in the school curriculums in Gaza and all over the Middle East. There are UNRWA schools. In the news, a lot has been about UNRWA, that UN agency stand for the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, that has been infiltrated by Hamas. Related to the hateful school curriculum of the UN is a matter of the Palestinian Authority. The Palestinian Authority is inciting children to hate Jews through their propaganda and their so-called education programs. And a big question would be to ask President Trump if he plans to cut off all money and encourage other countries to cut off money to the Palestinian Authority that is inciting hatred towards the Jewish people. A final note about the Palestinian Authority: they have had a pay-for-slave program for quite some time. President Trump has spoken out against that, condemning that. My U.S. Senator James Risch of Idaho has condemned that. Senator James Risch is a lead person in the Senate combating anti-Semitism, the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. So this has been a very crucial issue of interest, of very importance to President Trump, is the Palestinian Authority's pay-for-slave program. And a question: if President Trump is going to demand that the Palestinian Authority stop their pay-for-slave program. In addition, the big question is, President Trump going to be demanding of the Palestinian Authority to stop their pay-to-slave program if they want any cooperation from the United States? In addition to also demand the Palestinian Authority stop their indoctrination of children to hate Jews in their curriculum as a condition for U.S. support.